snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books.
Hi guys! So I am here today to do something super exciting. I want to tell you about what happened when I went to NineWorlds, which was only the second convention I've ever been to. It was the first one I went to in London. It was super fun. I went with Elizabeth, whose channel is Books and Pieces. I will link her below and in the card, so go and check her out. She's wonderful. We went on the Thursday night to go and register and collect our badges, so this one was my one. The really cool thing about NineWorlds is they have a really inclusive system there. So one thing that I think some of us are guilty of, I'm definitely guilty of, is forgetting about people who aren't like us. Not intentionally, but sometimes we just do. And the thing about NineWorlds is that they don't really let you forget the other people around you. They kind of make you way more aware of the people around you. So when you go in and you get this badge, you actually get the opportunity to choose a pronoun for yourself, which means you do not have to conform to the normal, which is he or she. You can choose something in between, you can choose your own pronoun. It just gives a lot more freedom to people who don't necessarily feel like they are one or the other, or don't feel like they want to be defined by one. So I absolutely loved that. The other thing that they had as an option is, you are a bit shy anyway, you have the option to choose a blue tag which you can put in with your ticket, and then people will know that if you have a blue tag you will go up to them and talk to them because they want to talk but they might just be a little bit shy. You also have the option of a yellow tag, which means if you know that person you can talk to them, but if you don't know that person, be respectful, don't talk to them. They might just not want to talk to you. If they talk to you, that's a different situation, but they don't want to be approached by anyone that they don't know, which is again totally respectful, totally wonderful, and such a good idea. The final one that they offer is the red one. The red tag basically means you do not want to talk to anyone. You just want to be there and do things your way, and you don't necessarily want to be interrupted by people you don't know. Maybe you're just really shy, maybe you just don't want to talk to people because you're having a bad day or having a time where you just feel like a bit claustrophobic. Cons can get like that, so it's a really great idea. Alongside all of those things, they also have an excellent quiet room where you can go if you just need a bit of downtime. As I say, it's such an intense thing to go to a con. It is non-stop, fully booked with so many things on offer and so many people that you can often get a bit overwhelmed by it, and you just live in this tiny world of the con. So it's great to have the opportunity to go to a quiet room or get some time outside or whatever you need to do. So all of those things made NineWorlds really stand out to me from FantasyCon that I went to before. I loved FantasyCon, I had an excellent time there, but it didn't have any of this stuff in place as far as I was aware. I was definitely not offered any of it, so I really think this was so much better on inclusivity and really being welcoming to everyone. I loved that. So enough about that. What was the con like? This was my schedule for NineWorlds, and when I open it out you'll be able to see that it's pretty large. So this is one page, as you can see, quite huge. You have plans of all the buildings so you can get around and find out where things are, and then on the back we have the other two pages, and this is the timetable for both of those days as well. So it's pretty jam-packed, the rooms of the colour coding, and it's just got so many sessions going on. So that means it's both great because there's so much to choose from, and terrible because often we were rushing around like, which one do we go to? We want to go to 5 at the same time. It just wasn't possible. So there were times when Elizabeth and I split up and went to different panels, tweeted loads whilst we were in the panels, and then caught up with each other after the panels so that we would know what happened in both. Just because we didn't want to miss anything. There was so much to gain from being there and from going to these panels. I think some of the highlight standout panels that I went to were the talk about Chinese science fiction and fantasy, and the hope that there's going to be more translated fiction coming from that. I will put a link to the lady who gave that talk on her Twitter down below because she was wonderful. She really motivated me to want to read more Chinese fiction, and definitely go and check out her website because she has translated some things there, so I'll put a link to that down below as well. Another one that I really enjoyed was the one hosted by Anne Perry. I will put a link to her Twitter down below, and she is just a fantastic, wonderful lady who gave the panel quite a lot of laughs. She also managed to control all of her authors in a great way and get them to be really funny, and it was just a really amusing, entertaining panel. I mean, a lot of them are very thought-provoking and very deep. Not so many of them were that entertaining and funny in a light-hearted way, so that was a really great one. I also really enjoyed going to the comics one, which was called There Is Hope, and it was talking about the progression of comics over the years and how comics have been changing for the better with inclusivity. There were many others that I also really liked. There was the cabaret that I'd never been to before, and that was really funny. There was a bar that we all went to quite a lot and hung out at, and to be honest, that's probably where you have the best time. This is going to be a bit of a long one, so you'll have to bear with me, but there's so much to talk about and so much to show you. I don't want to split it into two halves because I feel like it just needs to all go in together. So let's just try and go through as quick as possible. The other thing that there was a wonderful expo hall where there were independent publishers and mainstream publishers. There were some people just selling things from Etsy shops and little products that they might have created. As you can see, I am wearing this necklace, which is one that I picked up. It is a really cute little manatee, and he is just adorable. He is a little wooden manatee. He's got 2 layers to him, so this is set further back, and these are little cutouts with a lovely metallic-y sheen coming through, and he's just super smiley and super cute. I think you'll all agree. I'll put a link to the Etsy shop where I got this from below. The seller is fantastic and her work is beautiful. I wished I could just buy all of them because honestly they were stunning, and I'm definitely going to be keeping eyes on her Etsy shop from now on because I love these. So that was one thing that I did purchase. This is the Etsy shop that I got this manatee from, so I will just hold this up so that you guys can see the contact details, but I will link this down below as well. One of the other stalls there was selling some other types of jewellery which were cut out of acrylics, and they are awesome. So I picked up this one, which I'm sure you can probably guess what this is from. If you guys have seen Game of Thrones, you'll probably realise what this relates to, but it says "You know nothing," and then there is a little snowflake just hanging off. It's absolutely gorgeous. It looks really good on any block colour. It just stands out really well, and I just fell in love with this, so I had to get this. The links for this store I will put up here, so if you are interested in picking up any of these items, you can go check them out here, but I will also link them down below. The next one that I ended up buying from them is this one. It is really cute. It's a super silvery, shimmery moon, and you can see that there are little drawings as well on it with like a comet coming down, and there is a dinosaur on it. You can just about make out his tail. There we go, you can see him now. Sort of shimmery dinosaur silhouette stuck to it, and you can see that they're raised away from each other. I just fell in love with this, and I love dinosaurs. They are the next best thing to dragons, which they didn't have a dragon on a silver moon, so I got a dinosaur. But, you know, you all know that I would have got the dragon if they had a dragon. It's really lovely, and I am so excited to wear this one out sometime very soon. And the final one that I got from their stall is this one, which you can probably tell is like a little doe deer thing, and it just says "always" on it, and this of course relates to Snape and Harry Potter, and that's all I'm gonna say. But it's so cute and so lovely, and I'm super excited to wear this one too. They're all really unique items that I just love, and I'm so happy that I've got them. Never fear, because I spent lots of money on jewellery does not mean I didn't buy some books too. I definitely did. In fact, maybe a bit too many. I'll start off with the free book that I got, which I was so excited to get. Whilst we were there, Emma NEWMAN, who is a fantastic writer and she is a podcaster and she is many other things as well, tweeted out and said, would anyone like a copy of her new ARC, which is After Atlas. This doesn't come out for a few months yet, but her other book, Planetfall, is set in the same world or universe, I believe. I believe this is a standalone, so you can start with this one if you've not read Planetfall. I haven't read Planetfall, although I've been fully intending to buy it for ages, so if I like this, I certainly will. She was lovely, by the way. She was so nice when she gave them to us, but I started reading this at the con. I've read the first chapter and a half and it's already really great, so I can't see myself not enjoying this. I'm definitely going to be getting to this one super soon, and hopefully I'll have a review for you guys very, very quickly. It just seems super light and fun, but in a great way, quite a thought-provoking way, so can't wait to read more of this one. Another author that I actually met at the con was this author, which is GAIE SEBOLD, and this is the first book in her series called Shanghai SPARROW. It says on the front, espionage, etheric, science, and murder. So, I mean, that sounds cool. Plus, this one is actually signed to me, which I'm really happy about. She was lovely, and she was sitting and doing a signing, and we just got talking, and she said that if I liked steampunk, I'd probably enjoy her books. So, of course, I read the blurb, and it sounded really good. It's about a young girl called Evelyn, who is a thief and a con artist, which we all know I enjoy, and it's set in London, and there are folk, which I believe are like fairy tale creatures that used to roam in the world, but they have basically retreated away from all of the smoke and the furnaces that are taking over London's day-to-day life. We follow Evie as she basically is offered a choice of transportation to the colonies or an education and an utter commitment to Her Majesty's service at Miss Carngrim's Hush School for Female Spies. So I'm guessing maybe she goes with that second option. I hope so, because I think that would make it a really fun book. The next one I have is called Dead and Buried, and this is book 1 of the Out of Orbit series, which is by CHELE COOKE or CHELE COOKE. I'm not sure how you say it. I actually met this author whilst I was there, and she was absolutely lovely. I was talking to her for a while whilst I was over at the independent bookstall looking at some of the books, and she actually mentioned that one of the books was hers, and so of course I picked it up and read the back, and it sounded pretty intriguing. It says, a single life could liberate an entire race, but the life required may be hers. Since the invasion of her home planet by the ruthless Adveni, Georgiana Lennox's life as a Venish medic isn't as simple as it used to be. When a single infraction against the Adveni can lead to incarceration, slavery, or death, each life saved can bring harsh consequences. A secret delivery into the infamous Lindbury prison compound reveals that her friend Naya has been sold into slavery, and Georgiana must decide how to weigh a single life against the risk to herself and others. So it sounds pretty cool. I'm hoping for good things. I always love it when I find a really great independent book, so I'm very hopeful that this one may be it. We'll have to see. Another one of the independent presses that I found whilst I was there is actually Elsewhen Press, which are the sponsors of NineWorlds for this year, and they were selling a whole host of different books, but they said that this one is one of their best sellers, and it definitely sounded like something I would enjoy. It's called BOOKWORM, and it's by Christopher Nuttall, and this one says, Elaine is an orphan girl who has grown up in a world where magical ability brings power. Her limited talent was enough to ensure magic training, but she's very inexperienced and was lucky to get a position working in the Great Library. Now the Grand Sorcerer, the most powerful magician of them all, is dying. Although initially that makes little difference to Elaine, she certainly doesn't have the power to compete for higher status in the Golden City. But all of that changes when she triggers a magical trap and ends up with the knowledge from the Great Library, including forbidden magic that no one is supposed to know, stuffed inside of her head. And we can all assume that absolute mayhem comes from a girl opening a book and finding out the keys to the hidden library that she was never meant to know, and no one was really meant to know. I can't wait to dive into this. I do hope that I love it. Again, I'll let you guys know. Moving on to the book that I got in my goodie bag. Every time you go to a con, they usually give you a goodie bag with 1 or 2 books in it. So the one that I got given in my goodie bag was this one. It is called Deja Vu, and it's by Ian Hocking. It's published by Unsung Stories, who I've read a couple of their books now and I've enjoyed them. So I'm hopeful that I'll enjoy this one too. I believe this is actually a republished book, so it's already been published once before, and this is just the new version of it, but it has a very nice cover, I think you'll all agree. It says, the year is 2023 and Saskia Brandt, detective with the European FBI, comes back from holiday newly single and exhausted. She finds her receptionist dead, herself implicated, and she only has 12 hours to clear her name. So I'm guessing this has a bit of a crime undertone to it. We'll see how much that comes into it, because I'm not a huge lover of that, but I hope that I'll enjoy it anyway. It's quite a chunky book actually, so fingers crossed it's a good one. Again, I'll let you know. If you've heard of it or read it, let me know in the comments. And finally, I actually met up with Rebellion Publishing, who are a lovely publisher that I hadn't actually met before, although I had heard of them, so again I'll link them down below. Go check them out on Twitter and whatnot. And they were doing a deal of 3 for the price of £10, which is pretty good. So I have 4 books that are all published by Rebellion. Can't wait to show you what they are, so let's start off with that. The first one is one that I knew as soon as I saw it I had to get it because I owned the 3rd one in the series and I've been meaning to pick up the first 4 ages. It is ACK-ACK and it's by Gareth L. Powell. This one is great to have because, as I said, I've already got the 3rd one in the series. I've heard great things about this. I believe it's very animalistic. There's lots of like animal-like creature characters in this. I can't wait to see what it unfolds into. I actually heard the author talk a lot at FantasyCon when I went to that last year. He was fantastic. He was so enigmatic and funny, so I really hope that kind of translates into the books. We'll have to see, but I have a feeling it's going to be good because it starts off on the blurb by saying, in 1944, as waves of German ninjas parachute into Kent, Britain's best hopes for victory lie with the Spitfire pilot codenamed ACK-ACK. The trouble is, ACK-ACK is a cynical, one-eyed, cigar-chomping monkey, and he's starting to doubt everything, including his own existence. So it sounds pretty wacky, pretty out there, but hopefully in a really good way. And then these other 3, I just spoke for a while to the Rebellion team and they were recommending some things to me because I said I loved epic fantasy, so I believe that that is what these other 2 are. The first one is called The Sentinel Mage and it's by Emily G. This one says, in a distant corner of the 7 kingdoms, an ancient curse festers and grows, consuming everything in its path. Only one man can break it. Harkeld of Osgard, a prince with mage's blood in his veins, but Prince Harkeld has a bounty on his head and assassins at his heels. Innis is a gifted shapeshifter, now she must do the forbidden and become a man. The thing that really sold me on this was that the Rebellion team said it was really interesting with gender. They said that because there's a shape-shifting character who changes from one gender to the other, the author does some really cool things and talks about it in very cool ways, so I'm hoping that that will come through a lot in this story. We'll have to see. The next book I picked up is this one. It's book 1 in the Chronicles of King Roland's Kin, and it's by Rowena Cory Davies. It's called The King's Bastard, and I'll be honest, the covers of this series were incredible and they just drew me in straight away. Byron never wanted the throne. It was destined for Lentz, his twin brother. Twin brothers, eh? Older by 7 minutes and the rightful heir to Valencia. But the royal heir resents Byron's growing popularity, and in the court of King Roland, the shadows are thick with enemies plotting revolution. I can't wait to kind of see what it unfolds into. I have another book by Rowena Cory Daniels that I've been meaning to read forever, so I'm not sure which one I'm going to go for first, but I'm definitely going to pick some of her work up very soon because I think it's a sign. Now that I've got 2 of her books, I need to get on with them. And the final thing from my NineWorlds haul is Meeting Infinity, which is edited together by Jonathan Strahan, and it's an anthology that includes all sorts of authors like Gregory Banford, James S.A. Corey, Nancy Kress, Aliette de Bodard, Cameron Hurley, Madeline Ashby, Simon Innings, John Barnes, Gwyneth Jones, Ian MacDonald, Yoon-Ha Lee, Ramaz Nam and Owe Moyela. I'm so sorry I butchered that one. Benjamin Siradenkyu, Bruce Sterling and Sean Williams, and probably many more. Apparently this is a really great sort of start place with hard SF short stories, and anthology is always a good start place for that, and I do love the idea of hard SF, but I find it really difficult to get into, and I love a lot of the authors that are listed on the front here, so I'm hoping that this will be a great little start point to dip in and out of some harder SF, and hopefully it will be a really great way to experience it. So that is it. That is everything. That is everything that I have to say about NineWorlds. I had such a fantastic time. I made so many friends. That's always the best thing about conventions, is there are so many like-minded people who just get you and who you can just talk to for ages. Even though you've only just met them, you can hang out with them for hours, which is what we did. And I just had such a whale of a time doing that and chatting to people and getting to know people. I've gained so many people on Twitter that I follow now, and that I know that I'm going to be able to chat to if I want to, because I just had such a lovely time with them all. So excellent fun, excellent convention, definitely one I'd go back to. If you guys have heard anything about any of the books I've mentioned, let me know down below. Don't forget to go check out all of the links of the sellers that I put in the description and the independent publishers that I put in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye!
Thank you for watching my video today. Go pick up a book, then come back and chat with me again.